Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to Ace Attorney. We're continuing case number 2 of Great Ace Attorney 2. Last time we found ourselves faced with a murder victim who apparently didn't die. And in court we found out the man was not a soap eater, allegedly, but was instead using soap to forge coins so that he could pay for his heating bill. That's basically what he was doing. And now we're going to find out if there was actually any poison at all involved in this case. Because that was supposedly how he died. That's what the evidence was saying. And then he just got up and got better. So, I mean, however much poison he had, it clearly wasn't enough. We still also don't know who actually did the poisoning. We have some ideas. There might be a conspiracy afoot between this man and the heating company. Maybe. But we can't really say for sure. So we're on day 2 of investigation, which is not something we've seen yet in the Great Ace Attorney. Very common for the other games. First time here for this one, which is kind of surprising. So I don't know how this is going to go. If this is going to be like a full-on day of investigation or just like a really short thing and we get back to the trial. Kind of makes an awkward situation when it comes to figuring out how much of this case we're going to be doing today, but we'll see. So just as a reminder as well, this is a flashback case. This is like, I think this took place, what, day after case 3? Or was it 4? 4. Case 4 of the last game. It's like a day later than this case started. So a little weird on the timeline here, but that's why she's here, and also why this attic is, like, unused at the moment. Phew, we made it back in one piece. Just. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot out of close shaves. There's so many carriages on the street of London, you were very nearly flattened several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. Really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. Now that your fervor and exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it, that's all. That I'm here in England, working as a lawyer, I mean. In the Old Bailey, no less. Also how you can tell it's a flashback, because he apparently got disbarred, thanks to Case 5. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma. Actually, no, technically he didn't get disbarred, because he was never authorized as a lawyer in the first place. They just let him do the job, because no one else was going to do it. Possibly was done on purpose as part of a trap, is what I'm starting to think. It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Yeah, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same thing if he were here with us. Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Alright, let's go and investigate. So, we're supposed to be investigating about the whole poison thing. I know the police are supposed to be here in Shamspeare's room. I wonder if we can go and meet them, perhaps? Or we gotta wait until they're finished their investigation. I like that this isn't Shamspeare's room. This is, or like even Garadeb's like building. It's Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Implying that he owns the building, which we all know he doesn't, but I like that that's the point of reference for this location. Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh. Yes, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it all right. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. Well, it's with the identification section of the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today.
That's wonderful news. Thank you.
You're not going to tell us what those results are, though, are you? Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing. Forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here. Well, I'll try not to disturb anything, especially this guy's last meal. What even should we start with? I mean, nothing looks different from yesterday. There's even stuff that's still checked off. I guess the machine's probably a big one, after everything that happened. If you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, London's winters can be very harsh.
That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change.
London's winters can be very harsh for the forgetful, too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Susato-san and I are going to make it to spring.
That's true. We don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove.
Look how dark the stain on the floor is underneath the meter there.
Yes, from all the water dripping out after the ice coins melted, as you established in court this morning.
That's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it?
Mr. Shamspeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose.
It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. And that's why you'll never be able to use it again. To this day, no one can use ice coins to forge their payment for their gas bill.
Are you looking for new clues, Inspector?
On Orvanzek's orders, yeah? Don't come back until you've got something for me, he says.
Oh dear, poor you.
Yeah, poor me. Because we've already searched every bleeding nook and cranny in this place. Well, I don't know what he expects, to be honest. Thank goodness for warm chips is all I can say. Well, at least he's honest. Must be nice to be snacking on fish and chips all day. Sounds pretty good. Ah, the ill-fated teacups from which the two men drank on the ill-fated night.
During a heated literary debate, yes.
That's what we're calling now? That's a very kind way of putting their little LARP session, I guess. Who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? Sounds like it was quite a discussion.
Now we think of it, I'm sure that the two lovers in the play ended their lives with poison.
What if they both just got really into it and, like, Natsume did poison him, but he also forgot to poison himself? And then he realized after the fact that he just forgot to put poison in his tea. That's fiction, Miss Susato. Let's hope it stays that way. Kazuma's plan was gays. I mean, we don't know it wasn't. We don't have a spirit medium here to go and talk to him, so we can't say it wasn't that, Jack, alright? You might not be wrong.
So it turns out that Mr. Shamspeare wasn't eating the soap at all.
That's right. Mystery of why he had it on a plate whilst holding a fork in his hand is solved.
Yes, to prize his latest ice coin out of its mold. And in the process, he accidentally broke the bar of soap in two.
Well, that certainly was hard to imagine, let alone deduce. Anything left on the windowsill? Sun never shines in this room thanks to that depressing bricked-up window.
Yet with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you?
That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Miss Susato.
Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo.
What, pouring soap on a windowsill is considered a crime now? What's this world coming to? Alright, clearly there's nothing here at the moment. Let's go... I want to go there. I don't think we have any reason to go there. The Gyarados, maybe? I'm curious how last case's victim ties into this case, unless she's the one responsible for his poisoning somehow.
Mr. Gyarados appears to be out.
Oh well. I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Okay. Prison it is. Let's go talk to our client. Or is he also out? Wow, not even like any dialogue about he's not in his cell, he's just, no. The street? Where's the soap? If you're gonna put the soap on the windowsill, you can fake legal currency, then I think that would be certain. I didn't say anything about faking legal currency. I just said it's illegal to put soap on a windowsill. That's all I'm questioning here. Surely it can't be illegal to put soap on a windowsill. That'd be crazy. The police gonna walk by and knock on your door just because they saw soap sitting on your window? Why somebody built this snowman on some sort of pedestal, do you think? That's not a pedestal, Mr. Naruhodo. That's part of the snowman's body. Really? But it already has a perfectly good body. Well, it's true that British snowmen are usually made with 2 balls of snow. Perhaps this is a foreigner. And now we're looking at him as if he's strange. Poor man, I know how he feels. If anything, it's Japanese and British 2-ball snowmen that are the strange ones, isn't it? After all, real people do have 3 sections: head, torso, and legs. Do you ever think that perhaps you think about things too much? Are we like considering the idea of being racist towards snowmen now? Alright. I'm down. There seems to be a bicycle outside the Garrett residence. I read that bicycles are extremely popular over Great Britain at the moment, in fact. That one seems very warped, though. Especially the front wheel. Is that to make it more of a challenge to ride, do you think? No, I'm afraid that might be a result of the rider's incompetence. For the front wheel to be so badly warped, I'm afraid the rider may have been similarly afflicted. What the fuck? Then there's a good chance Mr. Natsume has been practicing on his bicycle, I think. What the fuck? Oh dear, I fear you may be right. She's not denying it! The Garadev household and Mr. Natsume's lodgings are in a prominent position there on the corner. Sometimes when I look at the building, I can't help but feeling it's a bit of it's at a bit of a slant. It does look like it's buckling under its own weight a little. It does look rather as if though it would collapse in even the smallest earthquake, doesn't it? And isn't it supposed to be haunted as well? I think I might have a hunch as to why Soseki-san had such a hunched back. Do they even get earthquakes in London? Maybe they don't have to worry about that. London's blanketed in fog again today, and the sky's covered in a cloud. But if you look carefully in the distance, you can just make out the Crystal Tower being built. Ah, the Crystal Tower, yeah. It's such a piece of the Great Exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time. Everyone's talking about the Great Exhibition of London at the moment, it seems. Well, it's to be the largest event of its kind anywhere in the world, with technology and scientists from all over. I can't wait for it myself. Do you think visiting students from the Far East like us will be granted entry? The last Great Exhibition that was held in London had more than 6 million visitors, it seems. And this time, the British are determined to make it an even bigger success, to outdo the Paris Exposition. I see. That's an incredible number of people. And with so many people expected to attend, we should easily be able to slip in unnoticed. There's always the honest approach of buying tickets at the main entrance, Mr. Naruhodo. I like that he's against, you know, forging money on a windowsill. But, you know, sneaking into a fairground is perfectly fine. Okay, where did we not go yet? I guess we're going to the hospital then. If anyone's even here. What do you suppose is happening? Sounds like some sort of disturbance. Yeah, I hear angry voices. Oh, they're here. Wait, how is he allowed to walk free? They're not holding him for, like, potential forgery? I guess he hasn't been officially, like, blamed or anything yet, so I guess he's allowed to walk free, but it seemed pretty clear. No, we proved he was forging money. How is that not worth going to jail for? Even if it's just for a night while we figure shit out. Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily thou art mistaken.
Mistaken my foot! You were looking at my painting!
The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that mustached villain gaveth me. Forgive me, lady.
I wish that you'd die from that poison.
God a mercy, ample lady, but thou seest, I have vigor still. Behold my sham spear dance.
This looks rather ominous, doesn't it?
Ah, lo, 'tis the lawyer from the land whence riseth the sun. How now? What are you doing here, Mr. Shamsphere? Mary, I do believe I've returned into another ward.
He was looking, that's what he was doing. Looking at my terrible work.
Eastern fellow, so darky clad. Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee. Oh, well, thank you. But that doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? Anon, exuent. Mr. Shamsphere might technically be the victim in this case, but there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. I mean, we literally called him out for forgery, so I think he's no longer a victim at this point.
I'm so sorry. I'm such an awful person.
Ah, Miss Green, is everything alright?
Oh, yes. I mean, don't worry about me. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now.
Oh, I see.
We're delayed that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. Well, I don't deserve it.
Oh, no, I want to examine. I guess we're gonna have to talk to her, but let's see what else we got. Anything new? Or is this all from last time? Okay, let's talk to her then. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green?
I am. Thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me.
Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it?
As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then, completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. What a terrible week it's been for you. Oh no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I look back on this fondly.
Really?
Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. Alright then. That's it here. Maybe he went back home? Can we go back to his room now? Is he gonna have a confrontation with Gregson? Nope. I guess we'll go here. Wait, Shamsphere is her do you wanna rephrase that, Jack? I think I'm assuming you made a typo there. Shamsphere is her mother. Are you sure it's not the other way around? You think Shamsphere killed someone? No. I don't think he killed someone. I think he's just... If he's guilty of anything, which he is, it's just the forgery. I can't see who he would possibly kill. There's no way. Who would he have killed? We don't know anyone else. This is day 2 of the case. We're not gonna just like randomly come across a murder victim, surely.
Oh, Bruno and Susie, hooray, you're back. Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you could have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set up some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris.
Thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? Aha, the Wanderers return at last. Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court? Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case? Well, that was today, was it? Yes?
I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm sure you think you did. Well, we can laugh about it now. So, tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We've managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least. Really? I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Van Zieks an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo. Not quite what I asked, but still.
Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor?
Yeah, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed. That's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science.
Oh dear.
Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? I guess I really was supposed to go here first. I like that the most obvious location was the one I decided to skip over. I think the problem is, like, I associate Sholmes' suite with the attic as, like, both, like, the office area of this game. So I just assume that the suite is not going to have anything important in it. But I need to remember it's another location. It's like when you go back to Phoenix's office. It's like there's almost never any reason to do so. You only go back there if you want, like, hints or something. The most useless hints. But hints nonetheless. Lord Beric von Zieks. Yes, it's an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later, the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. But vanish how exactly? Or by falling under a passing carriage, or drowning in the Thames, or succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit. For the time being, at least. That's not overly reassuring.
If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would be surely that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Zieks' own hand.
As it happens, Mr. Sato, that is quite impossible.
Oh? Why?
Well, naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever those incidents occurred, the Reaper always had a cast-iron alibi. Really? And so his reign continued. But 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. Well, that is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. A bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection, and really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again.
Poor Bruno. I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky, or incredibly unlikable.
I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people. So, what is that indescribably foul smell? Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellow, it is of course my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea.
Oh my.
There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor. Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris! How old is Green? Can we check that? People. Do we have Green's age? She's 20. So no, she definitely cannot be Shamsphere's mother. I mean, one could make the postulation that's the other way around if you really wanted to, for whatever reason. But let's just make this simple and presume they're not related because the last names are very different from each other. I think that's probably the better thing to do. Wasn't the previous renter of our client's room killed dead? Well, yeah, there's the whole, like, haunting thing about that building, but... I don't know, I mean, no, but he hasn't been there that long either. I don't think he's been there... Has he? They mention how long he's been there. Maybe you are onto something. Hang on. I guess it's possible he might have killed the previous tenant. Maybe. Yeah. It's not impossible. I don't know what she has to do with this case. I feel like she's just here because it's follow-up to the previous case, but I don't know. They know each other somehow. Maybe she's his partner in crime or something.
At the ready, Hurley.
Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? It's turned completely black.
What a foul odor it's giving off.
Indeed. The blacker the tea becomes and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling. That's very ingenious, but what do you do with that black liquid now? Why, dispose of it, naturally. Surely you would like to drink it, would you?
There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes.
Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madame. Right. The point is, we are entering a new era of science. In the world of criminal investigation, also.
Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times.
I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting with detective work. The Herlock-Sholmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based. This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science? Well, I suppose I should find out more about that. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese as well as Mr. Sato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Ziek seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed, it is an interesting observation.
Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes?
It was about 10 years ago that Barak Von Zieks chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan.
No.
What the? Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair.
Oh, but...
Can't or won't? The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe. Fine. Guess we'll leave that for later. Like, has anything actually happened in the case? We found out that, Shamspear doesn't eat soap. That's pretty important. Turns out he was not eating soap, despite all the evidence pointing towards yes. I can't believe it myself, personally, but... yeah, man does not eat soap on a daily basis. Who would have thought? So, your tea test, is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases, then. Perhaps a more practical example is required. The fingerprints? Oh, not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there. I hadn't even heard of them until recently. Which is partially why I undertake research in this field myself, of course.
Does this mean you're still adding fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes?
There are others in that field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, what I am researching is skin prints. Skin prints? A nomenclature of my own design is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation. So it is fingerprinting.
Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes.
I don't know if anyone's told him, but fingerprints are part of the skin. As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues.
That's the spirit, Bruno. See you later.
Yes, until later. No, Mr. Sholmes, we were thinking you'd come with us. You were? Yes, of course. You said so just a moment ago. You said we'd witness your forensic talents in action. Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later, in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Bruno. Bye, Susie.
Alright, now we could go back to the crime scene. Maybe these will be the kind of clues that he was looking for. Oh, he is here! Wow. Didn't actually think he would show up. Wait, it actually is soap. Yeah, it was soap! It was indeed soap. Like 10 different people touched that bar, that mysterious greenish yellow bar. Smelt it, touched it, felt it. It's soap. It was 100% soap. But he was not eating it. Don't worry, he wasn't eating it. Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there? What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene? Oi! What are you doing there, Sholmes? What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems.
Is that the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised?
With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madame. Oh, yo, we get actual forensic investigation? Or is it just gonna be for show? What's all this? All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. Herlock Sholmes' sensational skin print secret gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim. A sample? From Mr. Shamspear's teacup? Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this, a refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on. Did this man just like accidentally create some sort of like all-purpose DNA extraction and detection fluid? Like in the 19th century? There. Now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. Spray? How do I do that exactly? Well, little press of A on the area you're interested in is all that's required. Like this. What is that stuff? It's like fog. A suspension of the chemical indicator in a pressurized gas. It is the most efficient way to cover a large area. It was another invention I discovered incidentally whilst developing this idea. As you do. Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question. Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Okay, so it's like luminol spraying, but apparently for fingerprints, or skin prints as he puts it. I'm surprised there's nothing on the, on there. Wait, actually, that's really interesting that there's nothing on the meter, on the gas meter. At all. Considering everything we've been, like, hounding this guy for in court yesterday. Okay, so there's no back button, which tells me that I need to keep spraying until everything is uncovered. Means I'm missing something. Unless I just missed this somehow. Oh, there we go. No, okay, never mind. Apparently I didn't click in quite the right spot. I don't know where else I could be missing. It's luminol, but it's not for blood, yeah. And then it's also, unlike luminol, it seems to be way more precise because I don't know where else I'm supposed to be spraying. I mean, have I not, like, sufficiently covered the room? I can't back out. I'm assuming I'm going until it says I'm done, but I don't know when I'm done. I can't just like hold the button and spray it, and there's like a weird delay when you tap it. It's not quite as responsive as the luminol spraying was. Is there like another spot on here that I missed? No, it surely would have grabbed it. Oh, there we go. Okay, that was apparently the real big one, was the painting. Look, there's dozens of handprints here. So there are, a great many indeed. It's so much so that it's hard to make out any one individual print, in fact. Look, can I just say that me clicking on the lamp right above this should have maybe counted? Like, I feel like I clicked all around this painting, but not specifically where it wanted me to. In several spots I think probably should have counted.
It sends a chill down my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired the picture?
Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene, after all.
And without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel.
Oh, very true, Mr. Sato. That's a bit of a mystery, then. This man just really loved this painting. Oh, that wasn't it? Okay, cool. Well, let's just pixel hunt some more with a control stick and not a mouse. Only this was a Switch 2 game. Damn, I thought we were done. Oh, okay. Sure. I'm pretty sure I sprayed around there too. Oh, look at all this here. Ah, yes. Interesting. A multitude of the victim's handprints.
Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot?
Ooh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here.
There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over, though, is there?
I wonder. Personally, I often stumble where there's nothing obvious to trip over.
I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes.
Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor. Yeah, there's no obvious explanation. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, the luminol spraying, it was easier because you could kind of spam it. So the problem with this one was, like, every time I pressed A, the cursor disappears and it stops. So I have to, like, move it slightly, press A, move it slightly, press A. With the luminol, if I remember correctly, I was just able to click everywhere with it. It was way easier to do that. And so it was fine that it was, like, super precise and specific about where you had to tap. But here is just more annoying as a result. I feel like definitely should have gone that painting in the floor earlier. Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' amazing skin print indicator all over this room, didn't we?
We did, but there are 2 places in particular that are of interest, I would say.
The handprints on the floor here. And on the wall by the picture, you mean? Okay, he says there's nothing obvious to trip over, but what the fuck is that floorboard then? That floorboard's like clearly sticking up. I'd be tripping over that all day.
Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment.
There's something in there. What is it, Mr. Sato?
Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out.
One of the... You mean... It's a secret hiding place? Excellent work, Mr. Sato. So, what do we have in here? Oi! What are you lot doing? Oh, Inspector Gregson, stand aside right this minute. What's my job to investigate there? No need, Inspector. You continue to dig into your portion of chips, whilst we dig under the floor here. You fancy talk's pulling me off my food. Sholmes, a new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Yeah, well, you're not getting it. You could have been looking for this the entire time, and now you're just taking all the credit? Wow, secret hiding place under the floor. What a find.
It's not a hiding place you can make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw to Tommy mat.
No, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there, too. Aren't you curious?
Oh.
There's gonna be like a safe or something back there.
I'll investigate it once. Ah, there's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall.
How disappointing. What if it's not... What if it's that hole underneath the wall? And like he was just leaning against the wall so he could like move that board that's blocking that crack in the wall there. Or he like keeps replastering the wall somehow, despite the fact he has no money. But then how do you explain the handprints? What if it's in the painting? Like you have to take the painting apart and there's something in there.
Really can't think of why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in a place like that.
There you are, a print for you. Oh, thanks. Oh, thank you very much. His invention can make prints too? Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson's found anything under the floor there. I'm desperate to know.
So am I.
Well, this just got a lot more interesting. Alright, what'd you find? Since, you know, you totally found this floorboard and not us. I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath the floorboard there. Allow me to ask Mr. Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Yeah, but Iris isn't with you. I don't think he's gonna listen to you. Falls back. Yeah, I think there's probably something in the painting. I don't know what else you'd be doing over there. Maybe the lamp above the painting has something? Because, like, just the way he's putting his hands, but it's both hands is the problem. So the fact he has both hands on the wall means he's not grabbing something. It more seems like he's looking through something. But I don't know what you'd be looking at if the wall is solid and it's just a painting. Inspector Gregson, really, it's been too long. What is it, Sholmes? Well, I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there, seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. I told you, you need Iris with you. This guy's not gonna say anything. No, I suppose not. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. Ugh, I'd kill to know what it was under that floorboard. Alright then, fair's fair. What? You did discover the haunted place after all. Well, I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you. Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, it's that he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather. Oi, stop making me out to be some corner nut. There were 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know? What do you want to start with? All 3 sound very interesting. Getting back shots by the painting? Oh. Honestly, it's the only thing I can think of too. That actually could be a legit solution to the problem. We'll talk about the box first? Okay. I'm guessing we'll have to do all 3, obviously, because this will be important in court. Now, this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be the least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. What? Shamspear, give us a clue, man.
You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box.
Yeah, thin air. It's empty. Rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box then? I wonder. Can we not take a look at the box ourselves? Maybe there's a secret compartment in this tin box? So, this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. Yeah, so it appeared to have been taken on the street in front of the house here.
And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garrett, the landlord, of course.
But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garrett's son, perhaps? Perhaps. You can take the print if you like. Really? Are you sure? We can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is. Ah, is that true? Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out, pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. That super mysterious young man that definitely is not obvious who it is. I wonder why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor. I mean, Mr. Shamspear himself isn't in it. Photographic prints are all still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garrett was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it. Looks like this was caught out in the newspaper about 3 months ago. Well, it's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. What made the headlines down here in London as well? The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got to him first.
Oh my goodness, he committed a capital offense?
Man by the name of Selden. Nasty piece of work. Into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he knocked off was better worth £1,000. A hoard? Of treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like. Buried in it somewhere, no one knows where. And now he's dead. Well, papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, or some such was the headline. Does it not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor? Maybe the convict lived here at some point. Oh, I suppose now that you mention it, well, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we've got on Selden back at the yard and see if I can torn anything up. Is there a chance that's what was in the tin box, was the jewelry? The £1,000 of jewelry? He said there wasn't gonna be a new man. No, there isn't. That's not a new man. We saw him last time too. That's why I said it's very obvious who that guy is. We know two key pieces of information about that guy. Well, one was implicit, and the other was explicit.
Oh look, it's that lovely little kitty cat. Well, what was his name?
It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we've ever asked him, actually. Why don't we call him, Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese. Wonder how he got in here. Clever cat.
Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wagahai, here's something delicious I brought for you from the cat's eat man.
Wait, why did you just have food for a cat lying around? How did you just have food for a cat lying around?
He couldn't be happier now. Look.
I just hope we can bring some happiness to his owner, too. Can we talk to the cat? Oh, the cat hasn't been checked. Maybe this cat will help us in the investigation. I'm sure whatever the cat does will make more sense than that stupid cat door open flappinator thing from last case. That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai.
Oh, but he's so adorable. I could sit and watch him forever.
I think he may not appreciate that after a while. And we have an investigation to get back to. Alright, who else can we talk to then now we have all this new info? Can we go... Are they home? Before we run off to the prison? It's the only place I could think of. Nope. How about outside? Are we not done inside here? I mean, we talked to the inspector, didn't we? Or do I need to talk to him again? No, we talked to him. Y'all moved out. I talked to her. Nothing. Okay, I have no idea where we're supposed to go then. Well, let's check this new stuff out. Maybe that'll help. Mr. Natsume said to feed his cat. Oh, did he say that last time? Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. I don't remember that detail. I mean, these are just pictures, so I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of investigating here. Newspaper's probably not going to be. Oh, no, it is. Manchester's Strangeways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He'd been suffering with fever since the end of October. Lured by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Natural causes, you say? I have an idea of what that might be used for. Was there somewhere else that you thought we should go? The Loafer. I don't think we're done here, but I don't know what else we can examine. Can't even, like, click on the painting again to examine it further. Just making sure I didn't miss, like, a single thing. Everything's checked. The thing is, like, I can't talk to people to, like, present evidence and stuff. There's no one to do that with. So, he's not in his cell. They're not home. There's no one out here. I'll see if there's any other clues I didn't find. I think we clicked on everything here, though. Yeah, the street never has been very useful, despite it showing up in multiple cases now. Okay, where's that leave us then? Did I miss something in here? I assume there wasn't anything of note here, because we did all this last time. Yeah, there's like nothing here. Can't even click on the painting. I've already talked to her. It's not like a proper talk, it's just a special talk. Maybe I do need to go back here. No. I mean, I didn't look around here, but I just figured there wasn't any reason to here because kind of did all this before, right? Like, yeah, we should poke around here whilst they're out. Apparently he grew a conscience in the last 30 seconds, so... Okay, I'm gonna go back here and talk to Gregson again. I know it has a check mark, but... Does this do anything? No, it's just questions we were talked about. Even the cat's done. Okay, I've literally looked at, like, everything. I mean, obviously not, because I'm missing the one thing we need. Am I supposed to do something here? Probably some new stuff here, I guess we could do, because I did not check here. The enormous machine takes up the entire desk, doesn't it? It's really very imposing.
Well, he's great in the analytoscope. Yes, we can analyze anything at all, you know.
But I've never seen anyone actually using it.
Well, it's his invention, so I don't know how to operate it.
Why don't you get it to analyze its own operation then?
Oh, Bruno, you're razor sharp today, aren't you?
Yeah, why not get it to analyze its own operation so then you know how to use it in the future? Could be useful, you know. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple over at any moment.
Looks as though it might topple, and yet it doesn't. The epitome of Mr. Sholmes' brilliance.
I don't get it. As it happens, I'm quite well practiced when it comes to stacking shelves myself. But just the other day, the shelf in my office finally gave way under the strain, though.
It looks as though it might topple, and it does. Yes, the epitome of your disarray.
I really don't get it. I doubt there's going to be anything of use here. It's curious how this metal chest is being used as a coffee table. And even more curious to think that Iris's father's notes about Mr. Sholmes' cases are inside it.
You mustn't look in there, Bruno. Those notes are a secret between Daddy and me.
And Mr. Sholmes isn't somehow in on the secret.
Well, he tends to forget, you see. As soon as he solved the case, in fact. Once when he read one of my manuscripts, we had a terrible argument about it. Never have I solved such a case, he'd say. He was absolutely adamant.
Sometimes I wonder if he's from another planet, don't you? I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we've arrived in the country, in fact. Although, I do yearn for a Japanese kotatsu. Putting your legs under a warm blanketed table is so comforting.
Do be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't mistakenly put your feet in the fire, will you? You'd suffer terrible burns, you know.
I worry sometimes about how Susato-san sees me. Look at all these mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases. You know, Miss Susato's eyes still sparkle every time she lays eyes on them.
But yours don't, do they, Bruno?
Well, I have read The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes now, by order of Miss Susato, but the trouble is, having seen the real thing in action, somehow these stories don't quite ring true for me.
Well, he does solve the cases, in the end.
I suppose so. Perhaps there's more to the great detective than meets the eye. Oh, I can talk to her if she's typing? Okay, maybe that's different. Always strikes me how pretty and neatly arranged this tea set is.
What's my favorite one? In fact, I think it's high time for afternoon tea. Wait there, I'll fetch the special blender that I prepared for today.
Oh, Iris, you do love your tea, don't you? Just look so happy at the prospect. Those don't look like teacups on the tray. Those look like martini glasses.
After you've drunk it, I'll collect some experimental data if that's alright.
Just, what is she about to make me drink? Look, nothing's free, okay? You're always paying for something. That's a charming little white shelf, and full of charming little bottles, too.
Oh yes, but don't touch any of those. They might explode.
Ah, a charming shelf full of charming bottles full of charming ingredients.
You know, Hurley mistakenly drank one of them the other day.
What? And how?
I think he was lucky, though. He hasn't exploded yet. Well, chemistry can be a very hazardous occupation.
It's living with Mr. Sholmes that's a hazardous occupation, if you ask me. Iris? That's incredible concentration, that is.
I find it quite remarkable how she could focus on so many different things at once.
Perhaps I should try drinking more herbal tea.
But the blend third from the right would be good for you, Bruno.
Oh, Iris? This girl's destined for great things, I'm sure. It's because you didn't mention the word tea enough. That's the only reason she perked up. Well, if I remember correctly, this large and imposing lump of iron is called a typewriter.
I think that every single one of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes blossomed from this very machine. Oh, it's such a dreamy thought.
I actually had a go on it the other day. The metal bars that move when you hit the keys got all tangled up somehow, and that made Iris angry.
Mr. Naruhodo, you're ruining my dreamy thoughts. Please don't do that again.
Now I've made Susato-san angry as well. That actually happened to me too. We used to have a typewriter similar to that, and the bars would indeed get tangled. Made it very frustrating to use. That's why I preferred to use the electronic typewriter instead. Alright, there's nothing here. I don't know where else we can go. I've scanned every single room to its fullest. The prison's empty. Can't even look at the prison. They're out of the house. Who did we not click on? Am I really supposed to talk to her? I guess I guess so. I mean, I don't know what else we can do. Oh, this might be important, actually. How did the bars get tangled? So, the way it work, or at least old ones like that worked. I mean, maybe that one's even worse because it's actually from the 19th century. Ours was modern-ish, relatively speaking. But the way it works is when you press a key, it's a lever, so it flips up the bar to stamp the page. But if you put if you press two keys that are next to each other, they both go up at the same time, and if they're like, you know, just a little loose or they get jostled slightly, they hit together because they're all at like the bars are curved, right? So because they're curved, if two of the bars that are close to each other come up together, then they'll just get stuck on each other because the way they come down might not be quite the same way they went up. So they'll hit each other on the way down and then just, you know, friction and get stuck together. And then you have to like sit there and try and pry them apart, but you have to be careful because they're really tiny and thin and you might break them. And then if you're typing really fast, so this can happen a lot. So if like as soon as one bar gets stuck, well, now those two bars are going to make the next two bars get stuck, and it's like a cascading problem. It's one of the reasons QWERTY was invented in the first place, was to try and prevent that. But, you know, even then, you still have a chance of bars next to each other coming together and getting stuck. But yeah, it's just they get a little loose and then friction, and then now you have to sit there and fix it all when you're trying to type at like a nice speed. It's not fun. That's why we also had a digital typewriter. And what that one would do is it had like a little display. You type in all your keys, you type in a whole line, and then you press enter, and then it just prints it with like a roller. Like it'd be like one of those old roller printers, and just prints it to the page after you press enter. So that way you could also make corrections and stuff before you send it to print. Kazuma Asugi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. Really saved my bacon in that horrible instant just before we left Japan. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. As a stowaway? Yes. You could fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these links so I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial. That you really ought to go into law. Be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it, believe me. I guarantee it. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You'll have to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world. The city at the forefront of everything. Well, can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? Oh, no, never mind. What, was Kazuma gonna become a prosecutor instead? One day they'd have to face off in court?
Naruhodo-san?
Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about Kazuma.
Yeah. He's forever in my thoughts, too. It changed the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course.
Yes, that's right, but...
Yes?
I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know, the thoughts just take hold of me every now and then, that's all. I can't believe this was the answer. I mean, after exploring everything else, it kind of was the only option left.
Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions?
I mean this. Is this now twice that they've done something first-person related like this? It's weird to see because it's not something they do often. No, I guess 3 times. There was the charm slapping in 5. Or was it 6? 5 or 6. There was the Susato takedown in last game, and now this. That's 3 distinct instances of doing something in first person.
His katana?
I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course.
No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it.
When I have it at my side at court, I feel as though it gives me courage.
Yes.
Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Kadama? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Yasuki clan. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Inosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Kadama guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Well, not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down.
What did he mean by something very important that I have to do?
I'd hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet I've not found a single clue.
I see.
Alright, you want what's next? State the obvious, please. I need anything at this point. So, we know that Soseki-san took the tea to the victim on the night in question, but as he isn't the culprit, then obviously...
Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea.
But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspear's body?
I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspear's room that'll help solve the mystery.
Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives have been over the place already, but couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think.
Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar of soap.
Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we could ask him about that. Again, stating the obvious, but thanks. Alright, let's just go through everything again. Maybe that was the key. That had to have been the important conversation that somehow triggered everything else. No, he's still there, leaning over the floor. Oh my god. Was that conversation extra? Okay, that's it. I'm looking up what to do because this is going beyond, like, I haven't felt this lost since 1-2. What did I not click on here? Move to the prison. There's no one in the prison. We were in the right spot. I can't do anything here. What? Okay, what else did I miss then? I must have... Do I go back to Sholmes' suite? There's nothing here either. Already talked to her. He's not here. Alright, Sholmes' suite. Talk to Sholmes. See what antics he's encountering. Talk about the 4 things. Move to Shamspear's room. Okay, well, we went to Shamspear's room. Was there something in there that I missed? Yeah, we examined Sholmes. We did the whole handprint thing. Examined Gregson. We already talked to him. It's got a check mark. He's done. Can't show him anything because it's not talking to him, it's just examining him. We got the newspaper clipping, we got the photo, we got the thing. Do I need to check more of the evidence? I mean, what do we even check in the evidence? It's just they're pictures. There's nothing to check in this evidence. Magnifying glass is just for show. It never does anything. And that's also just that. So we got the 3 pieces of evidence. After you finish investigating the crime scene, the cat will come out. Sada gives the cat food. Go see his owner, move to the prison. We looked at the newspaper, this is all it is. It's literally just the article, it's not like a physical paper. Alright, guide is saying go to the prison, whoops. Which is where we just were. Prison. There is nothing in the prison. Check cat again? Oh, you might be right. I checked it like 3 times though. But at this point, might as well check it a 4th. The cat's got a check mark too, though, is the thing. Oops. I didn't break it somehow, did I? Yeah, and nothing new here. And he just goes back to sleep. And I did like a full, thorough comb of the entire screen for every single one of these locations that it lets me on. The only thing I technically haven't done, but has never progressed anything before, is this. Is this... Did I not talk about this? Maybe this is important too, but similar to the sword. It's quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. The guy doesn't really mention this part. I know. Not only that, but then finding out that he's actually a barefaced gas thief as well.
Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Sasuke-san's poisoning the tea.
Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. There's more to this than Mr. Shamsphere than we yet know, I'm sure of it.
Mr. Shamsphere certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first.
What's become of him, actually?
I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital where he'd be receiving treatment.
Oh, which one is that?
Let me see. Oh yeah, he's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bart's as Londoners call it.
We know that place, don't we?
Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was taken.
Ah yeah, after Sasuke-san stabbed her in the back.
Do be careful of your phrasing, Naruhodo-san. He didn't stab anyone.
Perhaps we both owe Sasuke-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yeah, we should probably visit the hospital later. Well, we already did that. But I'm wondering if that was like a magic trigger that fixes the prison. Oh my fucking god. Why was clicking on the hint buttons the thing you're supposed to do? Those are the 2 conversation options in every single Phoenix Wright game that you can have with your partner in your office. And all they do is give you ideas on where to go. There might be one other case that I might kind of think of where they were necessary. That's once where those 2 options have been necessary. I have never clicked on those in like pretty much every single case that we have ever done, ever. It gave an idea, but yes, but those buttons are meant to be hint buttons to the player in case they get lost. They're pretty useless hint buttons because they state the obvious. And like, frankly, you're going to be going around to every single location anyways. So like, I never click on those options. I never talk to my partner. because there's usually no reason to. Those other options, like talking about the sword and the one that was below it, those are special, so that's fine. Those were unique. But the top two, those are player hint buttons. They are not meant to be progression buttons. You don't need to click those. That is not something you're supposed to be needing to do. Is to click on the hint buttons. You can always skip those, except in this case, apparently. So yeah, they're the last thing I think of, because I'm gonna first assume that I'm missing some, like, random pixel on an investigation somewhere over clicking those buttons, because most of the time, that would be the correct answer, is finding the random pixel that I missed, not clicking those buttons. Whatever. But that's why it took me so long, is because that was even below the last thing I was gonna think of. You don't usually need to talk to your Maya, your Susato, your whoever, Athena. Oh, Mr. Natsume's back. So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello. I am a cat. Sorry. I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Herlock Sholmes, or I don't know about the courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat.
Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality.
Trying to? He already has. Completely. So, what is your name then? As yet, I have no name.
Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality.
Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? I am not a cat.
It worked. He's back in the real world.
What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that. It's obvious. My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate.
Mr. Natsume, no. This morning's proceedings in court prove that there is hope.
Yes. Yes. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper is omnipresent in court, in my lodgings. Here, there, everywhere. What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes. Yes, we must. In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No! Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me more. But if I just block those out, then today, being in that courtroom it was the most moving experience of my life, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're too kind.
Scotland Yard found the remaining tea, just as we deduced, and are analyzing as we speak.
There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a single drop of poison in it. That's a solemn, sworn, Soseki certainty.
Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies.
And at the time, you were both completely fine.
As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspear then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. But I thought Shamspear he didn't drink his tea, and he saved it because he needed it for liquid so he can make his coins. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. Maybe that's what was in the tin box was the poison. That rotted Shamspear, what have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything. Anything at all. Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner.
Well, you know what, Mr. Natsume?
About the soap, of course. What else?
Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend?
Of course I am. If I had money, I wouldn't have chosen to live in a cursed existence in such accursed lodgings. Oh yeah, you said it's because the place is cursed that's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly, especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place, and it's trying to kill me. Capital offender? Might I ask, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, that the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps? Look, I get you're probably hungry in prison, but I don't think soap's the answer. What do you think about this, though? What's this? It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Selden. A convicted killer, and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings.
What?
He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another. A miserable mustache, a malign Japanese man. Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you know can about this evil spirit. It's actually tweaking. Dude, he's been tweaking since we met him like 2 cases ago. This man is just like super nervous about everything. I mean, I guess it makes sense considering where he lives. And the fact he's also in jail. The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. And at the time he was hiding out in lodgings. At Mr. Gyarados' house. What? He lived where you do now? That's right, yes. Exactly where I live now. In my very room.
Oh my, your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense?
But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse.
What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume?
It's already caused one death. A few months after the criminal passed away in prison, a man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger, he was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes, well, that was the start of it.
Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume?
The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Gas? I only found that out after I'd signed the lease. When Mr. Gyarados came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself from trembling. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease, luckily legal! Lucky for Mr. Gyarados, maybe. Not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. And now you believe this curse is afflicting you? It is! At first, I just felt as though I'd been being watched all the time. And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you? The dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me. Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up. And the room is as cold as ice.
But why is your room so cold?
London winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight. But for some reason, even though I'd light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible. That's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shamspeare last night, when he was mysteriously poisoned. It's clearly more to that incident than can be explained by a curse, though. Maybe it's not poisoning.
Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garrett's rooms?
Maybe poison wasn't involved at all. Are they back yet? Can we talk to them yet? No, I like how you were joking about that, Jack, but it might actually be a case of gas after all. Actual literal gas leak. Oh, you're here now, Mr. Garrett.
Right, bully business it is for me, you know. Getting out and about.
Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance?
Naturally. Fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that. Not a trial to miss.
Fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes.
Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such.
Ah, well, at least he knows.
Makes you wonder what the blazes is going on, don't you?
Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsume's other trial just 2 days ago. You were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened.
Stopped off after prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business.
I see. Yeah, cup disappears again.
So, what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh? Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet to run fellows of it. Thanks to that bully curse.
The convict's curse, you mean?
Ah, heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here. Then the next chap in the next room goes and keels over. Then there was that woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. Am I next, eh? Well, can't help but get the collywobbles, can you?
When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green?
Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by the knife, and Mr. Shamspear, who was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still.
Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems. Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, a fascinating history. Why, it sounds like the lap of luxury.
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, there's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either.
But you do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here.
Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things, in case there are any mishaps or some such like.
I think you've already had your mishaps, sir. That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes.
Heaven forgive me, the words just came to my lips. Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh?
There's no need for that, Mr. Garrett.
That's right, Mr. Natsume is no way fishy.
He is undeniably peculiar, however.
Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away?
Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very same day. Never came across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were.
I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on, so much as the cheap rent, actually.
So, how long has Mr. Shamspear been lodging under your roof?
Well, a failed actor chap. Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it.
Only 3 months. He's quite new here too, then.
And to what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrett, if I may ask? Well,
It was that Selden scoundrel as it happens. Selden? The convict, you mean? Does Selden and Shamsphere have some kind of connection then? That convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see. Some melody or other. What if he's a convict? Yo, what's the chances of him being an escaped convict? We don't know what this guy looks like.
Yes, we've seen the report from the newspaper at the time.
Well, it was only 3 days later that the Tradigian showed his face. The actor fellow. Really? Yes, I remember it quite distinctly. This guy's a convicted murderer calling it. 'Tis small this world we inhabit. Prithee, landlord, hear my request. When did the last tenant die, by the way? Didn't he just say 3 months ago? They just said. Now, even I've forgotten. Where is it? It was like right up here. Okay. Bronze Scoundrel is arrested here. The next chap in the room goes and keels over. Oh no, I think it was 6 months ago. I think it was 6 months ago that the guy gets arrested, and then 3 months ago, the convict dies of natural causes, and then 3 days after that, Mr. Shakespeare shows up here. I, the humble Shamsphere, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor, offered erewhile for rent. There be so and whatnot, but that won't be possible. Already have a lodger on the middle floor. A ground floor room's vacant though. This guy wants the middle floor. Nothing can be made of nothing. Let me repeat mine will unto thee. Those girls must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor is taken. It's ground floor or nothing. Very well. We have an accord. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar Road. Lo, and a Shamsphere dance to celebrate. From what I heard in court today, sounds like the chap was thieving gas. He was 2 months in arrears with the rent too. Yes, the fellow was a bully player, all right. Thank you for your candor, Mr. Garridib. We are most grateful. By way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put on my crown. I have immortal lodgings in me. Or longings in me. What's happened to you? Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know. Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then. Most famous line, I've never heard it myself. Can't be that famous. Do we want to present him something? Oh yeah, we should present him this. Mr. Garridib, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there? No, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name. Duncan Ross? A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot. Just for kicks, really.
Is he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume?
Yes, that's right. Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs just before that Japanese chap. Would you mind telling us a little more about him? Yes, Duncan Ross. Young chap was attending art school. Had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved into the middle floor about a year ago, after that criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them. A history of cheap rent, maybe, yes.
Yes, well, anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. I hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodge was worked to at the time. So, sadly, I was rather tardy to have discovered what had happened. The smell of gas that alerted me it was. Ah yes, synonymous with the smell of death. Called the police straight away, of course. When the officer kicked the door off its hinges, but once we got inside, we all fully collapsed.
Because of the gas.
Yes, room was full of it. No air at all. And the stove must have gone out when the poor chap was sleeping in his bed.
So Mr. Ross suffocated to death.
Of course, police gave me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. I can't tell you how much it set me back to have the lot replaced all over the house.
But even if you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume said it's the same thing. That the stove goes out at night whilst he's asleep in bed.
Well, that's the bully curse. The convict's curse. Well, I've done my duty as a landlord now.
Someone's feeling defensive.
Ah, well, that reminds me, actually.
Yes?
About young Duncan. The night before the poor chap perished. He'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady.
A love letter, you mean?
Yes, sir. Where did I put it now? Ah, here it is. Left it on my desk. If you'll excuse me, let me see it now. What does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Do you think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence?
Oh, that's the problem you have? Not questioning the fact that, like, he has it at all in the first place?
My dear Miss Susato, that is precisely why I prefaced my reading with, if you'll excuse me.
I will not excuse you, Mr. Sholmes. No.
Sadly, he didn't address it, though. So I have no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really.
I see. Well, that's gonna play on my mind.
But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart is no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing. However, there is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Mr. Sholmes, please. I've already had to chastise you about this once.
My undying love to you, my colorful darling, Olive Green.
Olive Green?
Woman was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside this house 5 days ago. The victim of the last case Soseki-san was in court for. Regained consciousness only yesterday. Is it just chance her names come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence?
Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this mean?
Reading personal correspondence can have its merits, you see, Mr. Sato.
Alright. Do we have anything else we could present him? See, I kind of knew that was coming. We saw the picture on the table at the hospital. And then when I saw this picture, it's like, oh, okay. We know who died in the room then. No, okay. I didn't think you would know anything about this photograph. Okay, so we talked about both of those, so probably good there. She's still at the hospital? Or did she already leave?
Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last.
Well, this is good news, but hopefully just before she leaves. What is it?
Oh.
Miss Green!
What was that? She clearly just hit something behind her back.
Oh, 1 moment. I'll be with you in a jiffy.
Yeah, right, if you, what, drink the poison that you were about to chug? Was that a suicide note?
Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? Doctor said I could be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together.
Yeah, well, for what? The afterlife?
Miss Green, what were you just doing? You, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all.
Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you, if that's all right.
I don't really have anything else to tell you.
All right, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can't coax something out of her. Well, it's wonderful news you're going to be discharged, Miss Green.
Oh, yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway. So I don't think I should be keeping anyone waiting. Or probably shouldn't be stand around and chat.
Certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. I know just the thing that'll cheer her up. What if we show you a picture of your dead boyfriend? Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you? Interesting medicine you got there. What flavor is it? Grape? Plum? Oh no! I'm so sorry. The ball of medicine fell down when she did.
Oh, Miss Green, are you alright?
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that.
No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan?
Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room.
It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan, a year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day.
And the two of you became romantically involved?
Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why I decided to move into a cheaper room, to save money for the wedding.
And that's what led him to Mr. Gyarados.
Yes, he told me he found the worst, but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, well, that's when it happened.
We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green.
Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose.
Poor Miss Green. She looks so desperately sad.
I was starting to think that's just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her.
I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon.
Okay, well, just make sure you use the front door and not like some other kind of leaving. Preferably. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Surely you're not about to leave? That's quite out of the question. Well, Mr. Sholmes, I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow, watching intently from the shadows as always. Well, make your presence known next time.
Mr. Sholmes, what's this about?
Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Miss Susato, is this. Why do detectives insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That's what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There is a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening with nothing but careful observation. Alright. All the clues you need are set before you. You need only look and you cannot fail to see.
You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. I know you can.
Alright, let's take a look. What kind of case? Oh, fuck. I guess there was a murder victim after all. That mouse seems to be dead. Look, I didn't notice it there before, did you? Is that a little too much to drink? Gonna need a ride home.
I think perhaps I drank the medicine that spilled out of the bottle. But that's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived.
Well, you know, sometimes medicine's poisonous to some species and not others. Like, you wouldn't go around drinking horse medicine, would you? You don't think... Ah, I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy about to take place. Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilled out onto the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison.
Don't worry, I will attend to the mouse presently.
Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Once we'd left, you would have put it to your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison?
No! Miss Green, please talk to us.
"10 seconds later, and we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Don't ask ketamine users where they got their fix from. That's okay. I don't think we need to know where we got this poison from. That's not the problem here. Although, maybe it is. If we're still going down the poison route with Mr. Shamspear back in the apartment building. Although I'm thinking that probably wasn't poison. It almost did him in.
Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted.
Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine?
Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking.
It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains.
I'm afraid I don't really know. But I thought, well, if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow.
Yeah, I'm sure it certainly would have.
Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things.
Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison.
Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that. No. Oh, it's all my fault. What have I done?
I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection?
No, none.
Should we go to his office? It feels kind of awkward just leaving her like this, but I mean, there's no more conversation. And I doubt she's gonna react to any of this other stuff. No. It's a real Romeo and Juliet situation we have here, yeah. Well, now we have two of them. We had the LARPers and like a literal one. Although, maybe not quite so literal, considering that they were both, you know, students of art and not like opposing ideologies or something. Like within the story. We need to move. I'm just gonna go back to Sholmes' place and see if he can help us figure out this poison, perhaps. Or is he not here yet? Wow, we actually beat him home. Crazy. Maybe, you know what? I think there might have been more in here. Hang on. Yeah, let's check the note. Well, it definitely feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere.
Yes.
It may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believes was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it.
Ah, there we go. Almost forgot about the card.
Neither the sender's name or address appear to be written on the envelope or the card. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in hospital here.
I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or their meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Wait a minute, the 17th? Of this month? Well, that's the date that you were stabbed on Briar Road.
And 5 p.m.
Is precisely the time when the incident occurred. Yeah, but that was like a coincidence, right? Like, they were just... Our couple was having a scuffle in their house and accidentally threw a knife out the window. The Slug and Salad, yes. A pub on the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road? Being the street that Mr. Gerdip's house is on. But hang on, though. We have a map of that, don't we? Well, that would put it up in the top left corner there, wouldn't it? Why? But she was walking down. She was walking south when she got stabbed, wasn't she? Or was she walking north? I guess if she was walking north, then never mind. I, for some reason, thought she was walking south, too.
Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day, when I was struck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad. Goodness.
So that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day.
I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything.
Yes, I'm very sorry to drag up such painful memories for you.
No, it's fine. Miss Green? Please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the bottle now. Anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison. I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. What might sound a little conceited, but, well, that's how all this has made me feel.
Leaving Miss Green and St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trail for today. Yeah, it's late. And Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that might be of use to you in court tomorrow, you do think? Details about Mr. Shamspear, Mr. Gerdip's lodgings, the convict Selden. There's many facets to this case, and we're yet to see to the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway.
I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis.
Into Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean?
Yes. Will they have any strychnine in it or not?
Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Reaper.
Oh dear.
Yes, Beric Van Zeeks. But I wish you every success, of course. And though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial.
Mr. Sholmes, you're gonna come?
Indeed. Whatever happens, I shall be there. Assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's case until the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Sosuke-san had battled long and hard with this loneliness during his many months here, and so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn, for all of us. Alright, well, we'll continue this. I don't know if we'll get through the whole court portion. Well, let's see how far we can get. Let's see how long it takes us to get to the first chapter point, or whatever you want to call it. Because I had a feeling that investigative section was going to be that long.
This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything.
And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you.
I always appreciate your help, Mr. Sato.
Suffering Soseki, selfishly sidelined.
Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume.
Good morning, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Listen to you two chatting away as happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here. Why would you do that? Why?
Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly you were meditating, finding inner calm. It would seem wrong to disturb you.
I was waiting. What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, that's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut.
I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow. You'll have to forgive me.
And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume.
That was just an example.
Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm.
You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you abandoned me. In return to our beautiful long-lost homeland.
We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet.
Yes, well, anyway, I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I never realized that, but they did like 3 cases. No. Yeah, 3 cases in the span of a single week. That's a new record. I don't think any other Phoenix Wright game has had such a short span of time depicted. Except maybe some parts of the Edgeworth games.
I've actually reached an important decision myself.
Oh? What sort of decision?
I shall fill you in after the trial.
Alright.
It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming back today after all. It's a very clear ever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits.
It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. Whenever we show up your MI, that's true as well. We went to his prison cell like 3 times and he wasn't there. He probably only just got out of questioning or where the fuck he was doing. Maybe he was having lunch. The prison lunch. Gotta go get his, like, bread and water soup slop. Whatever they served back then in prison.
The great detective? My arch nemesis. Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Defendant, and your legal representative. The trial is about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately.
Say, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Sosuke-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing my client and keep fighting to the very end. That's all.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is ready.
Yes, the defense is ready.
Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot, to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my words.
I feel obliged to say, I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right.
Oh, well, I wonder if you could just adjust my hat for me, and please be as ruthless as you like.
Thieves deserve to die if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all.
Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I've got my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us all light here, and lead us forth to a righteous verdict again today. Oh, Manzix, what can you tell us? A prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea.
So he does have the results.
Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the black guard in the dock, hey, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Was indicated by the defense. We found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid and a low pressure on top of it.
Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Natsumi brought with him that night.
Well, the brazen yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was tea. But there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it.
No poison at all.
In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. Was in the clear. What a revelation.
As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Sosuke Natsume, is blameless here. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true, no poison was found in a few drops of liquid recovered from the soap and the window lardage. But, what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty?
My word, water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel.
Exactly. And fit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question. As the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamsphere, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Why? We already talked with him at length yesterday.
Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's request.
Mr. Shamsphere.
Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend.
Bailiff, show Mr. Shamsphere to the stand.
Juror number 4, Smash. Just don't steal any gas from her, or she'll be very mad. I don't think you'll like what she would do to you. Mr. William Shamsphere is a victim of this despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamsphere, did have a bellyful of the foul fluid given.
in mine innocence. Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as these, he has been stealing from the gas company, yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamsphere, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given. That's right. Villagers, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. Oh, I've forgotten. Kept all that nice coins in a tidy secret, did you? You should have owned up sooner.
Arrest him, I say. Arrest him at once, and let him feel the sting in my tail.
Oh, indeed. By dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends. I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure.
If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here?
The cowards die many times before their deaths. And for a coward such as I, death would be deserved. Well deserved. But would it still be a greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me.
But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that. What the defense would assert is that this inconsistency will quickly be cleaned up at the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamsphere?
Verily, my liege, I will most gladly speak. Very well. Let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why it is that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea.
Yeah, I want to hear this story too. Because I'm thinking poison wasn't involved in this crime at all.
The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. But when he departed by and by, I did use that tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Well, thus 'tis no surprise that poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap.
The poisons that were slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. That's a normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience.
Quite. Otherwise, it'd be disastrous if the poison were to mix up the cups, for instance.
Or, you know, he just put it in both of them and Natsume has guts of steel. No poison was found at the scene. Bottle was found at the scene.
Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room.
The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. But by now it should be perfectly clear. A bar to a cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash those deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands.
Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamsphere, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose. Well, I do declare. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, please proceed with cross-examination.
Yes, my lord.
Hold it!
I understand you were already acquainted with Mr. Natsume. Is that correct?
I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? Methinks 'tis all I can know, that thy destiny mingles with mine.
You lost me at the first "the."
Sound, sir. Thou must learn the English tongue afore thou turns thy hand to lawyering.
I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture.
Verily, and in truth, 'twas a fine flavoured brew, though a drop of poison did barb its sweetness, as the thorn doth barb the sweet rose. Oh, that, dear friends, be the simplest truth.
Listen to Mr. Shamspear. He seems even better form than he was yesterday.
Either that, or I'm in worse form.
That fated evening after I did dine, at Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good report, naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea. But behold, the poison was not in the tea at first.
Hold it!
Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea?
Oh, to have witnessed the act and then drank the tea? Oh, thou dost describe the actions of a fool. Quite so, quite so. But no one likes going thirsty, do they? Sooner would I die quenched than parched. Would I have the choice?
Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen, I believe, wasn't it?
Were it not for the tea, in sooth I would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched.
Right. No ice coins means no heating.
So Venus had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Reminds the court, Mr. Shamspear, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea which he brought with him. With the greatest of pleasure, my liege.
Hold it!
But the teacup Mr. Natsume drank from was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant's maxim: drink tea while it's hot.
I did gulp from the poisoned cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. In fits of pain, I did knock over the fellow's cup, and its contents spilt as blood from a gaping wound, methinks. Though certainly, 'twas after I had made the coins of ice from his tea.
So wait, if you used it to make the coins of ice, then how did it spill? If the tea was gone.
The said cup was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. Oh, there is no contradiction here.
It's true, there was no tea left in either cup that we found at the scene. Although one of them did have stains of tea left undrunk.
But still, something about this statement is troubling me.
Yes, of course. I know what it is. It's Mr. Natsume's wise drink tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it?
No, I'm not sure that's it.
Thank you, witnesses. Now, reiterate for the court what it was that occupied you after your guests had left and before you drank your tea.
Hold it!
Yeah, so that you could cheat the gas company, in fact, isn't that right?
To cheat or to die. 'Tis life's only choice.
Yeah.
Faith, to cheat be the wise choice, and mine occupation be not an ugly one. Prithee, dost thou not see beauty in the simplicity of the ruse?
No, I don't. And to be very sure, sir, once this trial is over, Altamont Gas will take you to task over this legal task.
I shall not run. I shall not hide. Sooth to say, I have nowhere to run nor to hide. But, my lady, what wouldst thou with this pitiful player?
Oh, I'll tell you what I'd like to do with you. Sign with a shoddy shirt on your back.
What is time for a Shamspear dance?
What a harsh world we live in. The thieving of the gas was already addressed in yesterday's proceedings. The prosecution calls on the defense not to muddy the waters with irrelevancy.
Consider that a warning, Counsel.
Yes, my lord. Am I the one in trouble here?
Mr. Shamspeare, after the accused returned to his own lodgings, used his tea to make your coins. Is that correct?
To cheat or to die. I did make my choice many moons ago.
Hold it!
If having first made your special coins, it was after 2 in the morning when you collapsed. Well, that would mean you can't have drunk any tea yourself until around that time.
Once ensnared by literary debate, naught else can be found in the furrows of the mind.
The debate about Romeo and Juliet, you mean, and who is the stronger of the two.
Rightly did I pay no heed to the tea as I wrestled with the abominable fellow.
I don't remember debates like that when I was studying.
Are you suggesting that neither of you actually drank the tea whilst it was hot that evening? My lord, wouldst thou be privy to some Shakespearean wisdom? Husband, wife, and tea art I tepid be.
Oh yes, so very true. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to tea.
I think you might have interpreted that wrongly. So it's been proven that there's no poison in Soseki-san's tea. Well, that should be hugely in our favor. But the atmosphere in this courtroom today...
Feels as though everybody is against us, Mr. Naruhodo.
Must be the Reaper's poison.
I'm afraid that if we don't find significant flaw in his testimony somewhere, the jury will pounce and find Mr. Natsume guilty.
Really feels like we've jumped into the fire here. Okay, Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. My cup alone, the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. I don't know if we can really prove that. Feigning distraction and debate, never did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. Teacups used by Shamspeare and Mr. Natsume, there's no tea ring in the inside of Mr. Natsume's cup. Implying that he drank his tea hot. The tea ring is what happens when you leave tea in a cup for a long period of time. Therefore, he drank his tea quickly, while Shamspeare did not.
Objection!
You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of his tea on the night in question. But that's impossible.
How? Chop logic? What is this, ye dark, ye clad fiend?
The 2 teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them, one that represents incontrovertible proof.
Incontrovertible?
What difference? Look at the inside of the cups, but just here there's clearly a visible ring.
Yes, indeed. Commonplace enough.
Indeed. Such stains occur all too readily when one ferries tea in a cup for a while.
And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring.
Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean. And prithee, sir, what makes thou of it?
Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted. That's right. Yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well, after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspeare, you clearly lied to the court.
Objection!
Why do I feel like we're falling for a trap?
As a rule, I filled my hollow chalice up to 7 times during any one trial.
You might want to keep that information to yourself.
Yet, on occasion, an idiom distracts me and I pour more times than I intend to into the bottle is dry.
Or until you, throw it into the crowd. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. Anyone want to go back and count how many times he's poured his cup on any given trial? Has it been more than 7? What wasn't there the one trial with Godot? That was, it was case 5. He was like, I'm only gonna pour 13 cups of coffee in this trial. We counted it, and he was correct. It was exactly 13. Or whatever number it was.
On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shakespeare. Yes, my liege. So you have previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup. Could it be that you were perhaps mistaken?
Oh, is that what we're doing? We're just playing off his lies as false memories?
Or could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot that left at the scene?
What teapot? I don't remember there being a teapot at the scene.
A fact that had vanished from your memory until now. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use the tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection.
And you just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before. Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection.
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead.
Yeah, evidence of a teacup or a teapot being in the room.
But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that the spurred cup is not the source of the insipid ice coins that had bewitched his court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words,
The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. Was there a teapot there? I don't remember a teapot sitting there the whole time.
my lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery Alehouse that night, naught did pass my lips, but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favorites, a broth as would's be called soup, and a leaf as would's be called salad.
Wait, you're saying you ate somewhere else as well? How do we know you weren't poisoned then?
As insalubrious as the menu as the establishment fare was served, but you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray ye wise and noble fellows, ne'er do forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another.
Are you saying the restaurant is irrelevant? I think I'll be the judge of that.
Jurors, all your humble servant Shamspeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman. I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer.
By me?
I do declare you may be right.
We all know the waif was there making coins of ice to keep himself warm.
This law side says you've been stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the garden path, that's what he's been doing.
I really never said anything like that.
What we just heard from the victim has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings.
What? No, you can't yet.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty.
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 Guilty. Guilty.
Oh, this man, supposedly just, he just forgot which cup he used to make the coins. I guess he's innocent now.
I hereby declare the jury to be one in accord.
Oh, happy day. How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination.
Very well. The court upholds the defense's right.
Ah, typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime on which he is charged. On the line of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
I do agree the gas is far too expensive. One can quite understand why the man would want to avoid pain.
Oh, we're just gonna suddenly sympathize with the same man you called a gas thief. A terrible, horrible person. Like 5 minutes ago.
Stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Truth be told, the team my wife serves up from is a little sketchy at times. If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
Yeah, if nothing else passed his lips, but as we now know, there's something else that did pass his lips. Many things, in fact.
I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supplies influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind.
No, you really should mind.
Truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamsir was poisoned. There can be no doubt about that.
Then, how are we supposed to turn this around?
I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamsir is actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court, incontrovertibly.
But that's surely almost impossible at this stage.
Well, if we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will
be found guilty.
No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
I love his fucking idol pose whenever we have one of these. Just over in the corner, that damn smile. I hate it so much. It's so good.
Hold it.
All the evidence, you say?
That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointed at that Japanese man with the big mustache.
Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache.
Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind.
If only we had that kind of evidence.
Don't worry, this summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light.
Let's hope so. Let's start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock.
Hold it.
This isn't the time or place to be discussing the price of gas, madame.
But really, think of the injustice. Air is gas and air is free. Why should ultimate gas cost money? It just makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever.
This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either.
If I might interject here.
Yes, madame?
It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up. Oh, what a beastly man. That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable.
I think you're like confusing the two people here. No, Mr. Natsume isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I'll think you not to go adding on to more crimes.
Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas.
Hold it!
Can we please talk about the poisoning rather than the gas, do you think, sir?
Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I'd take poison over gas anytime.
You take poison?
What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man.
Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room.
You're right. I hadn't considered that at all.
Young lawyer man,
Yes?
you have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as a company's legal representative.
Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure.
Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past.
How many gas companies have you had experience with? This is the 1800s. There's probably not that many.
Hold it!
When did they start pumping gas into houses in Britain? Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas?
There's an all-out attack underway here in case you hadn't noticed. Against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so.
She's really buzzing now.
All I've heard about are wonderful fuels, explosions, and poisonings. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted? What about that? Little explosion here and there, nothing in comparison.
Where's electricity being used? I thought everyone was still using gas. Also, it just kind of like occurred to me, she's got the whole bee thing going on, but I'm not really sure what that has to do with like any part of her name or her company's name or anything like that. I feel like there's a joke here that got messed up in translation or something.
The explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madame. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know.
More devious?
But who, madame? Other gas companies, of course.
Other gas companies? Not quite sure what I was expecting.
We generate gas and deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed. Nobody's questioning that, madame. Ultimate is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all.
What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people?
You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal your gas. How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert the gas into their own rotten pipes.
Oh, it's just like internet companies.
Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes, and take money from the precious gas that's rightfully ours without even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft. When we visit our customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3?
Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself.
I really did catch him off guard there. I think about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? About Shaw? I mean, it's both of them, really. They have a tendency... It's not that they steal necessarily, but they will go in and, like... Not this house, but the previous house we were in. I can't remember what exactly it was, but they like went in, and when they went to set it up, they completely dismantled the other company's infrastructure that was in the house. So like when we switched back to the other company, they had to come in and do a bunch of work to set it back up again because the previous guy came in and just mangled everything up. There's no need to do that. Houses here are set up to be like, you've got like the Shaw input, you've got like the Telus input. Most houses have both, and it's just a matter of plugging one or the other in. But this guy had the gall to go in and like take it all apart of the rival's infrastructure in the house. So it's not that he was stealing anything, but it definitely reminds me of that. It's like they're sabotaging each other because they hate each other. That's just something that happened back in the 19th century. Doing it now. It's just the product that's changed.
Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see.
Go on.
An Altamount Gasworker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipework. We need to ask you for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in. And do you know what he did?
I'm afraid I have no idea.
Please tell us. Well, he proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. And then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it.
What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there.
Oh, please, everybody knows, but it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you.
What do you mean?
I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network.
Yes, but how's blowing into the pipes come into it?
Obviously, there's gas in the pipes and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we had teams of workers going around the neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker.
Well, the trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you?
Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean...
That's right. The lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. The gas started pouring into the house.
What a disaster.
The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew to it, so the flames went out.
I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said.
So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. When the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Yeah, that's how gas leaks work.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps...
Yes, this is almost certainly the clue we've been hoping for.
Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you like. I don't mind.
Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues that try to diddle us.
Like I said, madame, it's widely known already. Very well. Juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly. Yes, my lord, although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is.
Hold it!
When you say extinguish everything in the house, do you mean even on different floors?
Oh yes, all floors connected to the same pipe after all.
That's true of every building. Because gas supply contracts are issued for whole properties.
Well, I had no idea that it was possible to extinguish gas appliances simply by blowing down the pipe.
It's not something we'd like to publicize, to be honest. But we have to carry out these investigations, as I'm sure you can appreciate.
Indeed. It's been mentioned on more than one occasion in the papers even.
Is that so? It's been mentioned to me too, very recently. Incident involving the gas stove going out inexplicably, almost leading to someone's death.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps...
Yes, it's finally starting to fall into place. The secret link that joins all these strange occurrences.
Hold it!
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas.
And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so.
She's really buzzing now.
All I've heard about are wonderful fuels, explosions, and poisonings. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here, there's nothing in comparison.
Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madame. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly.
But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies.
We have far more devious reprobates to contend on a daily basis, you know.
More devious? Who, madame?
Other gas companies, of course.
Other gas companies. Not quite what I was expecting.
We generate gas and deliver to our customers fair and square.
Oh, I thought we didn't do this one yet, for some reason. I thought we were still on 3, but I guess we were on 4. My bad. Yeah, because this is where we got the cutaway.
Might seem unbelievable to you, but it's happening all the time, right here in the capital. It's very difficult selling something you can't see, you know. Very difficult indeed.
Thank you, that will do. Clearly, this is a very involved subject, but I feel we have digressed rather too much already.
I concur. Though if my learned friend wishes to become an expert in gas, I believe the subject will suit him well. To your new career in nothingness.
Thank you so much.
You will turn your attention to the next juror's assertion, please, counsel.
Hold it!
You mean it's poisoned?
That's right. It happened a tidy few times now. This is most troubling indeed. It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages, or get in at tea time, see? When I see her doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look on her face, and she slips some white powder to my cup.
And you drink it anyway?
Was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it.
And what happened to you? What did it taste like?
It was god awful. Believe you me, salty as hell.
Salt? Not really what I would describe as poison.
And I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt.
No. So, she doesn't care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. Let's move on, please.
Hold it!
Does this mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you change your meaning?
Sorry, what was that now?
Oh, I was just saying, if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on the night.
What's the matter with you?
Sorry?
I said if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all?
I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here.
Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently.
I suppose. Trouble is... He has selective hearing? Exactly. But still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. Yeah, he's been the key to the breakthrough like every other time he's appeared in the jury. This is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people.
I do think the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shamspear is really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way, and not via Mr. Natsume's tea.
Yeah, I know. Trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it happened.
Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten.
Oh? Like what?
What's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else says? If you'd like to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course.
Once again, Sosuke-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. I probably owe it to my client to hear any advice my assistant may be able to offer. So perhaps I ought to let Sasato-san remind me. Then again...
No, I didn't mean it. Fuck. I pressed down and I held down. And apparently that
was too much. Whatever. Skipping through it. I don't think... I don't have a minus button on me right now. Not using a Pro Controller. Had to turn my Switch on. Was too lazy to get up, so I didn't feel like using my Pro Controller, so I used my GameCube controller instead, which does turn the Switch on. And it doesn't have a minus button, of course. Because why would it? It's a GameCube controller. Has like every other button on it. Even has that damn C button on it that no one uses. Doesn't have a minus button. I still don't know why they don't patch the Switch 2 to let you boot it with Switch 1 Pros. Doesn't make any sense to me. Alright, what are we looking for here? So this was the modified statement. Blow 2 on a gas pipe, you extinguish everything else in the house, and then you're in real trouble. Okay, so let's pit him with... I guess hers? I mean... Oh no, it's theirs. Okay. Despite me having modified his statement, I think it's theirs that are...
Objection.
No? Okay. I guess it was his. It had to have been his, because I mean, his was the modified statement after all. It's just... I'm not sure who to pair it with. Her? With 4? 3 and 4? Just one's talking about it being needing to be free, and like they're contradicting each other in a way, I feel anyways. Okay, it must be 3 and 4, because those are the ones that were arguing the most. And we did even modify 3s. About explosions. Okay. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver around the city and maintain the pipes. Blow too hard, end up gas pipe being extinguished everything in the house. Then you're in real trouble. Okay, what was his thing again?
Hold it.
Now, he doesn't really say anything. He's just pointing fingers. Well, I guess we can show them something. So we this deadlock. Okay. Can we present things? No, we can't present things. Okay. Oh, you could in these. Guess it depends on the situation. Blow too hard in the gas pipe, extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble.
Hold it.
Did I not press him again after he modified it, maybe? I think we did this, right? Yeah, we did this already. Okay, so his is definitely important. Oops. I think passive victims let... Oh! Blow turn a gas pipe, extinguish everything else in real trouble. Well, that's probably the explanation we're looking for then. Okay, we are talking about the gas thing with this. I was joking about the whole gas leak this whole time. I figured it was the answer, and then it's like it finally comes to the point where we need to postulate the possibility of it, and I don't even realize it. These two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, Counsel?
But juror number 6. Did you hear what juror number 3 said?
What? Yes, of course. Well, I heard mumbling about something or There.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a matter of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene? To see if there were any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe. Scotland Yard has enough to do without exploring such irrelevance.
What a piece of work is a man!
What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare?
What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir.
I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The stitching could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body.
Good lord!
So what, someone set up a trap with the gas pipe? Like, that seems a little elaborate, no?
Well, they tasted in gas pipes. Is that what he's saying?
Or is the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas?
Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him,
For shame, madame, speaking thy fancy. I assure you, I am not such a buffoon that have to kiss pipes.
Wait, hang on. I think we have evidence for this.
Objection!
Nah, he should be the one objecting. I think we should be the one objecting here. I think he does have some explaining to do. Oh no. Man's not a soap eater, but he's a pipe kisser. This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Japanese friend's conjecture. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high to the wall. In order to place his lips on the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection!
It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. And I have evidence to prove it. But will he accept this evidence is the thing? This forensic science. Unproven field.
Alright, you've got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So would I. Let's see this evidence then.
Now I've got the juror's ear. I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that, time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of his gas lamp.
Take that!
What the? These are... Wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene.
Skin prints, counsel? Oh, I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however.
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Herlock Sholmes. He reveals all the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? Well, if anyone could invent something like this, well, it's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure.
I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating.
We found skin prints in many places you would expect. On the table, the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. Well, for example, here.
Around the hanging picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps?
At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of...
Ah. I don't believe it.
Who's this guy huffing gas?
Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspear has regularly been staying with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp.
Right, what have you been up to, you nut?
I think we should. I kind of almost would have bear off if it turned out he was a soap eater. I think that would have been weird, maybe a little more acceptable. I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement.
Me? What did I say?
You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. By now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement.
What? Me now?
When a gas worker who visited his home blew it with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out, and gas started to leak into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamspear were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will.
Crikey!
Are you suggesting that the man purposefully caused the gas to...
Objection!
He was trying to kill everyone in the building. Thus, I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination. I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law.
What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zieks?
This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique. It developed by a great detective.
Oh, it's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands.
Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
But... Please, my lord, if I may. Mr. Sato, it was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
How's it any different in fingerprints? Well, those are also not accepted in court yet. They were talking about fingerprints being accepted in court, but that's still up to legislation to be passed as a law. So, yeah, I mean, doesn't matter who's doing it. Doesn't matter if it's the same people doing the fingerprinting research. It's still not legal evidence.
And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen. I'm sure the jurors would agree.
All these wonderful people of the jury who are fascinated by new science, surely you don't want to let them down.
You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide.
Juror number 3. Oh yes, I do declare that the great detective's investigative results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what the shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints.
What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. Well, I did say it, didn't I? I don't like to break a promise. No, wait! You heard his lordship.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. If just one more juror changes her mind, Mr. Natsume shall have to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success.
Why, Mr. Shamspear? You seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it.
Very well. Continue, counsel.
Alright, we got one more we need to do. Okay, you're done. You're convinced. You're still not convinced. Who does that leave us with? Man's complaining about his wife's tea? I consider all the evidence to defend must be logically guilty. There's not really a whole lot of options here. What kind of kangaroo court is this? It's one that doesn't fully trust the wills of science yet when it comes to passing judgment on others. A typical court in the 19th century, that's what. What tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune delivered around the city and maintain pipes. Man of logic, having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. What does any of this have to do with each other? Should I, like, press them again? Like, I don't think we're gonna get anything new. I can't press the ones that we've already convinced.
Hold it!
That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointed at Japanese man with a big mustache.
Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. Yeah, we went through all this already. There's nothing new here. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night question. Oh, this is it. What do you make of that?
What? The so-called skin prints?
It's an exciting new form of forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself.
Numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied as a possibility that's where the poison was.
Well, yes. I won't deny it's playing on my mind. But, as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to the unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides,
Yes?
even if the fella has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it?
Oh.
If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You make a very valid point, sir.
What?
That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty.
No, wait.
Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time for you to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese courts can, that is.
Let's leave our nationality out of this, please.
Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before may very well change them back.
What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspeare really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? Do you have supporting testimony? Well, the other guy was talking about... Okay, what kind of testimony are we going to be referring to here? Because, I mean, one of the other jurors said something, and I know we talked about it, I think, outside of court. No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it.
What's that? Testimony?
This is incredible. Whose testimony?
Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Garadiff residence that night. Namely, oh yeah, it was Mr. Garadiff himself.
Take that!
No, wasn't him. I thought, like, we talked... Okay, I don't remember if it was in court or not. I thought it was outside of court, actually. But he mentioned the lights flickering that night. Was it Natsume who said something? Oh yeah, I guess he was talking about it too. That's true. Okay. They both mentioned it. Because I was thinking of Garadiff's testimony and how he, like, watches the pipes and the flickering of his tenants to see what they're up to. I thought that would be relevant here. Well, yeah, he's talking about strange things, but he's not talking about gas, about flickering lights and all that. Oh, but he did talk about the pilot light constantly going out, didn't he? That's right. Okay.
Hold it!
The pilot light going out is a little bigger deal than just a few flickering lights, that's for sure. I don't know, I feel like both of those are very valid things here. But you're right, Natsume is here. But we could always call Garrett in. If we needed to.
Take that!
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Sosuke Natsume himself. Did he actually, like, mention it in court, though? Maybe he didn't, I just forgot from last week.
The defendant?
At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. Okay, yeah, see, it was in court last time, and I did forget. That's why I wasn't to give it.
My lodgings. There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even on that fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me.
See, I remember him talking about that in prison today. I forgot that he'd also mentioned in court last time. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not?
Good golly. So that Shamspeare fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Now hold your horses here. What would he do that for?
Mr. Foreman.
What is it, man?
We cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree. There is more to this case than meets the eye.
Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost.
As 4 jurors lean towards not guilty, my lord, we've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue.
As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now call guilty, 4 now call not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted and, in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shamspeare. My lord, how can thy humble Shamspeare serve thee? What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination? So God mend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either, the lamp or the pipe. But your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How'd you explain that, eh? I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied long enough already. Juror number 5. Who? Me? As I've went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toys has no place in the British court of law. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before us a gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains, at this time, unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Objection!
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there,
Objection!
I don't think he's going to find traces of poison there. I think what he's going to find is that this man was huffing gas. What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of the tea were required. Yes. Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison would have been spread on the pipe, it
It would have been completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible.
Also, why would anyone spread poison on the pipe? I didn't think of that.
In any case, Counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipework where he lived?
There's only one possibility I can think of. And that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. What if he works for like a rival gas company? I still say this guy's the convicted fellow who he somehow faked his own death and escaped prison.
Order! Order! Counsel! Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end?
Well, the answer couldn't be simpler. Now we're unraveled the mystery thus far. Mr. Shamspeare wanted to end the life of...
Take that!
If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing.
Well, I've run those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time.
Mr. Gerda, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. Or in other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspeare is trying to end.
Outrageous.
I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder.
Good gracious.
Objection!
The accused is actually the aggrieved? Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Let us indulge your fantasies for a moment and assume that there was indeed a poison in the mouth of the gas pipe. The question then that arises is, who put it there? Who did put it there? Whoever put poison on the pipe is related to whoever Shamspeare killed? There is no poison on the pipe. Why would there be poison on the pipe? I think what happened is this guy was trying to kill someone else in the building by like blowing air into the gas pipes, and I think he accidentally breathed in the gas. He poisoned himself with gas. Because that was also something else that was talked about, was gas leaks almost killing people. Because it goes into the atmosphere. It's not even about exploding. The gas is poisonous. You don't breathe that stuff. This man was an idiot. And accidentally huffed a bunch of gas. That's the only logical conclusion, is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill.
Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how could he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison?
So, now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs?
You mean to suggest...
Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was clearly a retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Sasuke Natsume. Yeah, but like, he didn't know how his pilot light was going on and off. He thought it was like the work of a ghost. And then even like Naruhodo was saying how they don't really have this sort of stuff in Japan. So he's not very familiar with the workings of a gas pipe system. Especially one of England's. Whatever Mr. William Shamspeare may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could have possibly perpetrated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. Who owned Natsume's room before him? The convicted murderer's victim, yeah. The guy who got convicted and sentenced to capital offense, he killed the last person that was in that room. Did they mention how? Hang on. Yeah, he died of gas poisoning. Wow. Funny story, that. As the defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now as the clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. But would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? No, there's no poisoning involved. Guy tried to kill his upstairs, or I guess downstairs neighbor, right? No, upstairs neighbor. He tried to kill his upstairs neighbor, accidentally breathed in when he should have breathed out, sucked a bunch of gas up, and almost killed himself. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly?
Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage.
What advantage?
Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room, so we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt.
You mean, name the true culprit?
I know it may sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed, once and for all.
Okay, the only way poison could have been on this pipe is if Mr. Shamspeare is working for one of those rival gas companies that's stealing the gas, and they were putting poison on the pipe to trap whoever was blowing into the pipe to try and, like, fuck with the lines from the other companies. Maybe they didn't know it was Shamspeare. Maybe Shamspeare was just an accidental victim in that case. That could be it. But that's the only way I will believe that poison, the reason poison would be put on that pipe. Otherwise, it's not poison. There was never poison. It was just gas that he breathed in. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now. It's probably that, the meter man guy from last time, right? Why would Miss Green? She wanted revenge for Shamspeare killing her husband? I don't think she even knows who killed her husband. It wasn't her husband, it was her boyfriend. And he didn't even really confess. Like, he would... Well, no, that's right. No, they were getting married. That's right. But he was like... I don't think she knew what exactly happened. It didn't sound like she knew what happened. And remember, she was in the hospital. She was unconscious when this all went down. How would she have done this? She was literally unable to do this. The only person that could have done this, I think, is one of the two gas people. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly... There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? I'm found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. Thank you. Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime? Okay, so it can't be her. She was in the hospital. I don't know when or how she could have done it. Why is she even relevant? Because she was there as the fiance of the previous victim who died to gas poisoning. Gas poisoning is the key word here. She just regained consciousness after being comatose for days after suffering a stab wound to the back. So what you're telling me is she snuck out of the hospital, went and rubbed poison on this guy's pipe and then went back to the hospital? No, absolutely not. The true culprit is one of these two people. She hates gas theft. She wants to, she's trying to take out her rivals. She's already said she wants to kill someone. Probably was him because he was literally in the building to check the pipes. He has to check the meter. He's a witness to the incident. He was literally there. He's the only other person who was there. And motive doesn't mean shit when you don't have opportunity. It has to be either her or him. You're gonna have to convince me a lot better to pick Miss Green. Because I would sooner pick literally anyone else in this list except her. It's all pointing to a particular person on the evidence and the poison. I mean, she did have poison, but like... Okay, we're gonna be falsely... if we do pick her, it's gonna be false, because like, I don't think poison's even involved. I think what's gonna happen is the poison is a false lead that we're gonna go down, and then at the end of like the next chapter, we're gonna be like, oh wait, shit, it's not poison. It was just gas. Because who the fuck does poison? Rub poison on a pipe. Why would she know that he was going to suck on the gas pipe in the middle of the night? Why? Who would do that? How did she know he was gonna do that? Fine.
Take that!
Maybe the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear is, I believe, Miss Olive Green. This is ridiculous. The timeline is like, there's no time for her to do this. She has zero knowledge of what she's doing. Motive, sure. No opportunity to do this. And why would she have done this? There's a million better ways you can poison someone. Especially if you're gonna sneak into someone's house in the middle of the night. There's a million better ways. Why didn't she just like douse him with poison then? Why put it on the damn pipe? Like, is she aware of Shamspear's tendency to suck on pipes?
Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where.
Miss Olive Green is a woman from 6 days ago. As a victim in the recent case of the stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add.
Oh, of course, yes. Miss Green. Well, she was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe. But I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago.
And I hardly need to remind the court that Mr. Shamspear's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Thank you, Van Zeeks, for telling us all why this is stupid. Sometimes the logic in this game, they pick it for drama and nothing else. It's like, anyone with half a brain would know this is a stupid thing to pick. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in hospital unconscious, so on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible. But still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison.
Good gracious, she had poison?
And there's another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court.
Tell me, Mr. Shamspear.
Yeah, but like, I feel like but then it's not following logic, it's just following drama. A mystery doesn't follow drama, a good mystery follows logic. The whole point of these games is to be able to guess who done it. I'm not guessing who done it, I'm guessing who hasn't done it for the sake of increasing the playtime. Because we know this isn't going to be the case. It doesn't make sense to be the case. There's no logic here. Because just like Van Zeek said, she should have been comatose.
Well, if she has a bottle of poison, she must be it.
That's flimsy evidence, and we know it. There's no reason to be picking her. Should be picking one of the obvious people. How about the people that were at the scene? How about Mr. Meterman, who was literally at the scene that night and works for the company that hates gas thieves and also hates the other companies that steal her gas? She's admitted to it several times. And yes, maybe that's a classic sign of a red herring, but in the moment, that makes way more logical sense to pick one of those two than her, who has one piece of evidence that might just coincidentally be related. Now, you know what screams red herring is the super obvious bottle of poison.
My lord, pray, what be thy bidding? Are you acquainted with Miss Green? No, never heard of her.
Judging by the look of Mr. Shamspeare's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her. At least, not by name.
As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned Nibdovni's friends fast through to its conclusion.
I appreciate that.
The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord. Noted the subpoenas of witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient.
I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too deeply. Maybe the game's expecting the player to be dumber and not think things through too much. I guess that's the real problem with Ace Attorney. Is like, if you have a tendency to sit there and think about things for too long, it makes the cases way more confusing than they need to be. Because you figure everything out, and then it's hard for you to show your work and do what the game wants you to do and follow all the steps. It's like, you know 2 + 2 = 4, so you write down 4. You don't have to sit there and show the teacher why 2 and 2 together make 4. You skip all that. But I'm stuck here having to write down why 2 and 2 make 4. And I can't do that. I was never good at doing that. I always skipped showing work, and I lost marks for it because I knew the answers. Like, who the fuck cares? I can give you the answer. Why should I have to tell you why it's the answer?
Very well. I grant the request.
Excellent. I hope. I guarantee this is going to be a false lead. It's a classic case of, like, this is not actually how the crime went down. You know, we've done this many times. Like, late second act, almost third act, we're going to find out that it's not poison at all and it was 100% a gas leak. Or not gas leak, but just huffing gas.
The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of the court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned.
Too smart for AA. I mean, it does feel like that sometimes. I should play other detective games. You know what we should play on this channel? We should play LA Noire. I suck at LA Noire because it's all facial reading. That's something I'm terrible at. Maybe we'll play that at some point after this. That's a good game, though. I love that game. I've never beat it. I've gone pretty far in it. Alright. I don't know how long this third part is, but if we have to, I think we'll pair it up with, like, whatever part 1 of the next case ends up being. If we must. So, we're going to leave it there. Play Danganronpa? No. I've played Danganronpa. That game sucks. Sorry, I don't like that game. I think it's my fault, though. When I played Danganronpa, I went into it expecting, like, Zero Escape. And then I didn't get Zero Escape. I just got shitty Ace Attorney. I was very disappointed by that game. I beat the first one. I kind of started the sequel. I was, like, kind of enjoying the mystery of it all, but, like, the ending of the first game just, like, it felt like a disappointment. And the sequel is a little intriguing, but it wasn't intriguing enough for me to want to continue, so, no, don't expect that series anytime soon. I would sooner play through Zero Escape again, despite clearly remembering everything that's happened in that game. So there would be nothing there for me. I would sooner play through Zero Escape on stream than I'd play through Danganronpa. Going to be perfectly honest. But we're going to continue this next time. I don't know how long this last part of this trial is going to be. I'm assuming this is it. But like I said, if we have to, I'll pair it with the next case if we need to increase stream time. We got plenty of case left, so I'm sure we'll be fine. But yeah, we'll end it here since we did like the investigation and that part of the court. Danganronpa 2x2? Isn't that the remake of it? What makes that better? Or did they like completely redo it? Is it like a FF7 remake situation? They just like redid the whole thing. I don't know. I'm not gonna say never to Danganronpa, but it's like I have barely any interest to go back to that series. I don't even own it on a system that I can stream. I only own it on Vita currently. So I mean, if there's a remake, then I guess that would be an excuse to buy it somewhere else, I guess. So I can actually stream it. Base game also second third the same characters. Oh, okay. I mean, it was mostly the formula and the ending where I was disappointed by. I didn't really care for the ending. I thought that was like I said, I went into it expecting Zero Escape, not in the, you know, the way that Zero Escape handles the story structure, but the way it does the ending, where it's like there was no twist to Danganronpa. It was Danganronpa was exactly what it said on the tin. And I wasn't expecting that. I was looking for a twist that never happened. And that's my fault. I'm not blaming the game for that one. That was totally on me. I was like, oh, this is shown like this. I bet it's going to be something else later. Oh, this was shown like this. I bet this is going to be something else. Oh, there's all this talk about such and such. Bet there's a good reason for that. Nope. Turns out it was all just exactly as it was stated. And so I was very disappointed by the ending of the first game. The story of the sequel, having played the first game, was intriguing, but I also didn't care for the gameplay either. It was like it was shitty Phoenix Wright. It was trying to be like a Phoenix Wright in a different way, but it just ended up being like a weird QuickTime event that wasn't very fun. So, yeah, that was also not very interesting to me. Yeah, we just missed it, Crafter. I'm not sure how long this last part of the case is going to be, and if I'm scared it's going to be another like 2 hours, I'd really rather not. So we're going to finish this case next time. We're going to find out exactly how Sham Spear was huffing gas the entire time and accidentally choked on it. That's what's going to happen here. I guarantee you. Poison, red herring. Totally irrelevant. What will be relevant is how Olive's fiance died, which, as we know, was by gas poisoning. Not by explosions, not by a bottle poison, but by breathing gas. It's been brought up so many times, and that's why I wasn't really feeling the whole let's accuse Olive thing, because I am certain that's going to be a false lead. If this doesn't end up being a false lead, I'll be shocked, and I will concede. But I am certain this is going to be a false lead. I just don't see her being the culprit here. Is the issue. If he choked on gas, why did he pass out in the chair? Because, like, maybe he... Alright, you know what? You got me. I can't currently think of a good reason for that. Maybe he went to sit down, but he was also holding a cup and a fork. That's the weird part. You know what? Him sitting in the chair, honestly, not that weird. If I'm coughing a whole bunch, like if I was coughing on something, I would probably sit down too if there was a chair nearby. I would probably sit in the chair. What I wouldn't do, though, is pick up and hold a cup and a fork while I'm coughing my guts out and dying. So, for me, it's less about the sitting in the chair, but you saying that reminded me that he was holding a cup and a fork. And that's a little weird. If he was, like, deep-throating a gas pipe just before that. So, I don't know. There's definitely some weird things going on here, for sure. It really isn't certain who is the culprit. There's a number of people here that I think there's red herrings, and good reason to believe several different parties. Olive has an alibi. She should have been in a coma. So how could she have poisoned the guy? But she did have the poison. The poison's pretty obvious, though. So it feels wrong. Meanwhile, there's also the gas company people. They hate gas thieves. She's gone on multiple times in court on record stating that how she would like to kill gas thieves. There is the meter man who really likes her and is like the classic, company pawn. He'd probably be more than willing to help his sister in any sort of like trap or scheme to get back at the other companies. Maybe even this guy. Maybe this guy really is the escaped convict somehow, and he didn't kill himself in the cell. Or maybe he isn't, or maybe he works for one of the rival gas companies, and that's like going to be this whole thing. It's going to turn into some corporate espionage type case. There's a lot of ways this could go, and it would make sense. Except for Olive Green. That's a little weird. Not sure about that one. I don't know. It's an interesting case, this one. I like that it's not certain. Like, it feels like it's certain, but at the same time, it feels very uncertain. It's like you could pin any one of these people, and you would feel like you're correct. But which one do you pin? Which one actually did it? Because there can only be one, and we got to eliminate someone. Next time. That's what we'll do. More Huff and Gas. How many times do you think gas is going to be mentioned next part? Anyways, that'll be it for now. I will be back on Thursday with some Mario. We'll play some Minecraft on Friday. We've got more Tevi next week. And then, of course, we will finish off our gassing case next Tuesday. And then most likely start another case because, well, I'm sure it's not going to be like 4 hours long. I'm sure it's going to still be like 2 hours long. And I think that's fine to just leave it. It's this awkward situation where we had like a really short investigation that was like almost long enough to be its own stream, but it wasn't quite. So I was like, fuck it, we'll do the first part of the trial. But I knew I wasn't gonna. I don't think doing the second part is a good idea. So it's a bit of an awkward situation. We'll most likely be starting case number 3 as well next week, but that's just the way it's gonna go, unfortunately. So thank y'all for watching tonight. Hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for the finale of the case of the gas huffers and soap eaters. I'll see y'all next time.